Good evening and welcome to Lower Frederick Township's Board of Supervisors work session for November 25th of 2025. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All members on the agenda are present and accounted for. Our manager, solicitor, engineer, and our chief of police. The township meetings are recorded for the purpose of preparing the minutes, and the recording is destroyed after the minutes are approved. The meeting will be posted online on the township YouTube channel. The link can be found on the Board of Supervisors page on the township website. It is requested that all persons wishing to speak before the board shall state their name, address, and the subject matter upon which they wish to speak for the record. In the interest of facilitating the interest of the persons addressing the board shall be limited to 3 minutes unless time is extended by the chair for good cause. Individuals are requested to remain in their seats and to respect when other persons are speaking. The Board of Supervisors will provide a reasonable opportunity for citizens to comment on any non-agenda items after all agenda items have been addressed, but prior to the adjournment of the public meeting. So this evening, the first thing on our agenda is conditional use hearing for 6 and 10 4th Avenue. Peter?
And you are here on your own? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to start off with some administrative matters, and then I'll throw it to you to present your case to the board. Yeah.
Okay, I'm green. Okay, thank you.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, for the audience, is there anyone in the audience who is interested in this particular matter? Okay, wonderful. I'm going to give you a little explanation of how you can participate in the hearing. So, as you may or may not know, since you may have been through this before, this is going to be a hearing. It's not going to be run like your normal township meeting. It's more of a mini trial. Mr. Franks here is the applicant. He's going to be putting on his testimony. The judges here are the 5 supervisors who will be listening and then ruling on the testimony and the request for relief. As someone who's interested in this particular application, you have 3 ways you can participate in it. The first way you're already doing. You're here, you're listening, you're paying attention, you're finding out what's going on. The second way is at the end of this hearing, we will be allowing for public comment. At that time, if you wish, you can stand up. We're going to take your name and address. You're going to be sworn in so that your comments are part of the record. And at that point in time, you can say whatever you wish about this application. If you support it, if you don't, if you think it's silly, if you think there's certain problems with it, you can all provide that at public comment. The third way you can participate is you can become a party to the case. What this means is you're an active participant. You can cross-examine Mr. Franks after he gives his testimony. You can present your own testimony. You can present your own evidence, your own documents, or anything of the sort. If you do wish to become a party, you can ask when you can ask to become a party. At that point in time, I may ask you a few questions to see whether or not you meet the standards for becoming a party, and then we can move forward. So, sir, since you're the only one to raise your hand, I'll ask you, you have any interest in becoming a party in this case?
Not at this time.
Thank you very much. With that being said, I am going to introduce some board documents, and then, Mr. Frank, it'll be on to you.
Okay.
So I'd like to mark as Exhibit B1 the application, as Exhibit B2 the authorization letter from Mr. Frank's neighbors, the Bushies. That's Exhibit B2. Yes. Exhibit B3 is the proof of advertising. Exhibit B4 is the affidavit of posting. Exhibit B5 is the affidavit of service of the mailing of notices to the neighbors. Exhibit B6 is the letter sent to the applicant notifying him of this hearing. Exhibit B7 is the review letter from Hydroterra Professionals dated July 18th, 2025. Exhibit B8 is the review letter from Value Engineering dated November 7th, 2025. And Exhibit B9 are the plans. With that being said, just for the audience and for the board, this is a conditional use application to disturb steep slopes. Mr. Frank is attempting to connect his property up to the township septic sewer system, and in order to do so, the pipe is proposed to go through steep slopes on both his property and his neighboring property. Mr. Frank, the floor is yours.
Okay, hello. My name is Isaac Franks. I am one of the owners of 10 4th Avenue and am here to request conditional use of some of the steep slopes on numbers 10 and 6 4th Avenue in order to install a sewer lateral for the existing single-family home located on 10 4th Avenue. Plans to construct this lateral were drawn.
Oh,
Yes. My full name is Isaac Franks, spelled ISAAC FRANKS. Yes.
and before you get started, do you also affirm that the testimony you've already given is also the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Plans to construct this lateral were drawn by Cornerstone Consulting Engineers and Design Services and are displayed here. And Jason, I don't know if it's possible to put them on the other screen, although my understanding is you all have had a chance to look at these. Great. They were submitted to Lower Frederick Township July 2nd, 2025, and were reviewed by Robert Preston with Hydroterra Professionals and Carol Schuler with Value Engineering. It is not in a floodplain according to the FEMA flood map and according to the USDA soil map. The soil type is Neshaminy gravelly silt loam on 8 to 25% slopes. The sewer lateral follows the path drawn in these plans, which is that orange kind of checkered path, to create the shortest gravity-fed path while disturbing the fewest steep slopes and avoiding a heritage oak tree, which is just south of the house, while also following the wishes of the Bushies, the owners of 6 4th Avenue, by staying along the edge of their property. This path does go through a hedge of forsythia on 6 4th Avenue, which we will need to temporarily remove and will replant as part of our agreement with the Bushies. No other living trees obstruct the path, and there are no other heritage trees that would be in the way specifically. There are 2 long dead ash trees that are along that path that we will need to remove. But there will be no permanent change to existing vegetative cover. The proposed lateral will conform with all applicable regulations, including steep slope anchors, which will be installed on any pipe section greater than 20% slope. A 12-inch compost filter sock will be installed on the lowest end of the work area, and erosion control matting will also be installed to control any erosion and sedimentation. I believe this request follows the legislative intent of the Steep Slopes Conservation District ordinances and qualifies for granting of conditional use. It will not negatively impact our neighbors, and we will submit easement agreements with the plumbing permit if our conditional use request is granted. So with that, thank you all for being here, and I'll be happy to answer any additional questions that you may have.
Does the board have any questions for Mr. Franks?
I have none at this time. Does anyone else have a question?
Not a question, but a point of clarification. So this is just for your property at 10 4th Avenue, but because you are going to go across part of 6, that's also included in this.
That's correct.
And that's the only reason 6 is included.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it looks like what, maybe the change in elevation from where the sewage starts out life to where it ends up is what, like 25 feet, something like that? Looking at your graph?
I would have to look at the plans. I think at least.
Yeah, okay.
So can I assume that you have an agreement and a working relationship with the Bushies right now?
We do. We've actually become pretty good friends over the last few years.
Okay. And you said that you have an easement agreement or you will get one?
We will get one.
Okay.
We have a legal description of the plans, but we haven't, actually was speaking with Solicitor Nelson about, I think he's going to help us write the easement agreement that we'll have with the Bushies.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Does any other board member have a question?
Terry? No, I do. Okay.
I'm going to ask Mr. Franks, I will ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
So sounds like you currently reside on the property?
We do not reside at the property.
Is the house, okay, sorry.
It's okay. I live in Souderton. We purchased the property almost 4 years ago and got permits to renovate the property, but it does not have a use and occupancy permit because it has no septic system or connection to sewer.
And did it formally have a septic system on the property?
It did, but it was, when we purchased, it was just deemed illegal, not up to code. It was just basically a pipe that ran down the hill.
Excellent. That doesn't have to go on the record. So your neighbor's property, looking at the plan that's been marked as Exhibit B9 on the screen, your neighbor's property is included in this conditional use because you're going to be disturbing steep slopes on that property, correct?
That's correct.
Do you know where your pipe eventually will hook into the township sewer system?
Yes, on the plan, at the end, kind of central on the picture there, yeah, right where the mouse is, there is a manhole near there. My understanding is that rather than tying directly into the, well, no, I think in that case, it's unlikely that there's a sewer pipe that extends past that manhole, so we would be connecting into that manhole.
And your plan has been reviewed by both the township sewer engineer, Hydroterra, and the township engineer, Value, correct?
That's correct.
And have you seen their latest review letters of Hydroterra Engineering and Value Engineering?
Yes.
And are you willing to agree with all the comments in those review letters?
Yes.
And is there any way to connect your property to the public sewer system without going through the steep slopes?
The entire property is on steep slopes, so there is not.
So this is basically the most effective way to connect your property to the sanitary sewer system and has the least impact possible on steep slopes.
Yes, that's correct.
Does the board have any follow-up questions to mine?
We will also be connecting to public water?
The house is already connected to public water.
It is, thank you.
So the house, so for 10 4th Avenue, the actual address for this, and you also own 2 parcels next to it.
That's correct.
Is the house solely on 10 4th?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have plans to use the same connection for the other lots at some point? Is it designed to do that?
I do not. My understanding was that would, mostly due to steep slopes, that building on those lots would be
Okay.
quite difficult, and we don't have plans to do that.
Okay.
I think I saw there's a pool on one of the neighboring parcels.
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Mr. Franks, do you have any final remarks?
No.
Okay. And you have no exhibits other than the board exhibits that have already been marked and introduced to the record, correct?
That's correct.
That being said, we can, actually, before we close the hearing, one last thing. Is there anyone who wishes to provide public comment on this matter? If you could come up here, sir, borrow the mic from Mr. Franks, give your name and address, and like I said, we will swear you in. That way, your remarks become part of the record.
My name is Ryan Fox, RyanFox. I live at 3 Mary Jane Street. My only comment is just a question for you. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. I just have one question, if you don't mind. The manhole that you mentioned that you'd be connecting into, is that the one that is in my backyard? Or is that a different area? I didn't have a chance to look.
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. That's the main reason why I'm here today. Sure.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Fox. Does anyone else wish to provide public comment? Let the record reflect. There is no one else. And with that, we can close the hearing. Does the board wish to deliberate and vote on this now, or do you want to push that off?
I think we're ready to vote. Are we ready to vote? Peter, could you make the motion for me, please?
The motion would be, I assume, to grant the requested conditional use conditioned upon the applicant installing his connection to the sanitary sewer system as shown on the exhibits and testified to in the hearing today, as well as fully comply with the Hydroterra review letter and the value engineering review letter concerning this particular project.
Would we also make that for the easement agreement as well? Should we? Or
And yes, you can add that the applicant will enter into an easement agreement with his neighbor, the Bushies, to the satisfaction of the township's township solicitor.
okay.
May I note also with Mr. Fox, we would have an easement agreement with him also.
Oh, so there's two easements that need to be obtained.
Yes.
Okay.
So easement agreements
Or easement
with
agreements
the
for
Bushes and the Foxes.
And the Foxes. Okay. All right. The motion has been made. Can I get anyone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Motion's made by Supervisor Geiser. Is there a second? Second. Supervisor Sachs makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you all.
Okay. Going to move on with our meeting. Next item on our agenda this evening is conditional use adjudication for 115 Babington Road.
So this is the written adjudication for the matter that was heard at your October work session, which I believe was the 28th. At the end of that hearing, you did vote to approve that conditional use application, which also involved disturbance of steep slopes. As is required, my office prepared the written adjudication, which you have before you now. I'm just looking for the board to approve the adjudication itself. You're not reapproving the vote, you're just approving the adjudication. And then if you could please sign it so we can mail it off to the applicant tomorrow.
Okay, so the motion would be for the board to approve the adjudication of the conditional use hearing for 115 Babington Road from November 5th of 2025?
It's actually October 28th.
Oh, October 28th, my apologies, okay. Okay, so it's the approval of the adjudication for conditional use of 115 Babington Road held on October 28th of 2025. Can I get a motion? Terry Sachs makes the motion. I will take the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the last item on our agenda this evening is a resolution for the LSA grant application for Coble Park Rehab Phases 1, 2, and 3. Jason, would you like to handle that?
Yes. So this is a project that was previously presented to the board in 2024 as for Phase 1, which we did submit a DCD Greenways grant, which was not granted last year. So trying a different tact, and as the recommendation of the Park and Rec Board, they wish to submit a grant for Phases 1, 2, and 3. Which would be a total of $607,719.65. This grant would be submitted to the local as part of the Commonwealth Financing Authority to the statewide local share assessment grant system.
Is that it? Soup to nuts there? Okay.
Yeah.
So this goes up to $1 million, correct?
The total submission could be up to $1 million. The first 3 phases is stormwater, kind of trail reconstruction, really kind of working the land before we get into Phase 4, where that kind of changes.
More infrastructural.
Yep.
Okay. And the price tag here is $607,719.65. For project readiness, is this actually shovel-ready, Carol, you would say? Is there any additional engineering that needs to be done?
Honestly, we're pretty darn close. We're pretty close to shovel-ready. I mean, it was a preliminary plan, but
Right.
really, most of the work is done.
Okay. It says contractors and engineering partners are prepared to proceed. Who will be doing this work?
So that would be a bidding process.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I'm going to get down to. So there will be some costs associated with that as well.
Correct. We'd have
Okay.
to prepare bid specifications and documents for it.
I'm not sure. Can we include those costs in the LSA, or is that above and beyond?
We actually could include those costs as long as they've not been incurred. It's my understanding.
So when is the grant supposed to be, when is it?
The grant's due by the end of the month.
No, I mean, like, when will they award the grant?
The grant we're still waiting on last year's submissions for that to get awarded. It was supposed to be September. I did check last week. There's still nothing been posted, so.
Is this ready to go? Like, right now, ready to go for the grant?
Yes,
So we approve this tonight, it can go out tomorrow, like, right away?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the cost that Carol provided a cost update with updating the numbers from 2024. or yeah, from last year's submission to,
So does it make any sense that we wouldn't be doing any more additional, incurring any more costs on this until we found out whether we got the grant or not?
that would be correct.
And then we could actually account for anything additional in case the grant doesn't cover it?
Correct.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I have a question. So this is at least the second LSA grant we've applied for, maybe the third. I know we applied for the one for the Zieglerville sewer, and I think we applied for one for the police. So my question is, how do they work? Do they look and they say Lower Frederick sent in 3 applications, we're only going to consider one, or is each of the one considered on its merits? Like, could we theoretically be awarded more than one LSA grant?
So you can get awarded as many grants as you submit. They're all unique projects. You can group them together. But if this was, say, if we had a grant for the, because I had to do that with the police ones and the admins ones we submitted last year. We had to separate those out. That's fine. You can't, they have to be like type projects. So you can submit as many as you want. And when you look, if you look at the 2024 awards, there's municipalities that receive multiple. Yeah, you're not hamstrung by trying to pick and choose what grant you'd like to submit. So we have received the one for the fire truck. That was one we submitted on behalf of the fire company. They submitted for $1 million. They received 400,000. So, and as of yet, we've, the last year was the first ones we submitted on behalf of the township that, like I said, we're still waiting to see if they actually get awarded. So much like we discussed during the budget discussion, this would be one of those things, obviously, if it's not awarded, that we're not, it's not a all go with the project no matter what. So that's how we budgeted for, that's how we would budget for this,
Okay,
which
thank
won't
you.
happen until 2027.
So that's great. We could just keep applying.
Yes.
Did you say 2027?
Yeah, the work wouldn't happen until 2027. So that's just like what we submitted, hopefully, if we find out this year, but the projects or the purchases are in next year's budget, but there's grant money offsetting that, so that if we get the grant money, that the board we would have the ability to move forward. If we don't get the money, that's stuff that we're not necessarily moving forward on. That's a different discussion.
Okay, does anyone have any other comments or questions? Any questions from general public on Zoom? No? Okay, well, the motion before us this evening is to adopt Resolution 2025-R25, authorizing the township manager to submit a local share account application on behalf of Lower Frederick for the funding of the Coble Park Rehabilitation Project Phases 1, 2, and 3. Can I get a motion?
Also move.
Supervisor Hexter makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Supervisor Yeiser makes the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Is there any supervisor comments this evening? Or you, public supervisor? Yeah.
You do public
Warren?
or supervisor?
Well, let's do public comment. Okay. Thanks, Warren. Yeah, gotcha.
My question, Marla, you have mentioned that we applied for the grant for the Zieglerville sewer project. That was due at the end of November, too. Did that actually happen? Not yet. Oh, so we didn't actually do it?
When is that set to go out?
It just has to be submitted by the end of November.
So
Yeah,
it
I was
is going
expecting
to,
to see that on the agenda
The end of
tonight.
November is November 30th.
it's going to be submitted.
Yeah.
We already did the resolution for that one at a prior meeting.
Trust me, last year I was doing it in the middle of basketball tournament games, and it got done. They got it in time, so it is on my list to do during the holiday break.
Is there anyone on Zoom, Jason? No? Okay. Are there any supervisor comments?
Sure.
Thank you, Terry.
So I'll just speaking for myself, I guess, or for the board. It was a pleasure to attend an event in Norristown last week, recognizing the Bird family for their adaptive reuse project here in Zieglerville. It was a great event, and it was nice to see the whole family out there. And as some of you know, Phil and Greg Pocus were the ones who nominated this project. And I have to say that there were many county people there, and they all had amazing things to say about Phil and recognizing his efforts. And they did put together a video. I haven't found it yet, but they do, they do recognize Phil and say some nice things in the end. So it was a very nice event. I also had the opportunity to talk with Scott France, and I thanked him on behalf of the township for funding this sidewalk project here, and told him that I thought it was a very important project and that people will use it and will help with the safety of people trying to get to the trail. And, maybe down the road more can be done.
Thank you, Chuck. Sorry, there's no more comments. Meeting is adjourned.